I'm going to cover, as we conclude here, a handful of cases, their outcomes, and why they're important. Um, Near the state of Tennessee, we had a case in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. That's basically Chattanooga. It's just across the state line, where cheerleaders used to put together these large banners and display them before football games, and the team would crash through the banner on their way onto the field. And this was initially an anonymous complaint was filed on behalf of filed to the school board. The school board banned this practice. Upon further investigation, however, it come to find out there was actually a student at a nearby college that I believe was founded by Jerry Falwell. I'd have to go back and research that. But all she did is she was studying something in her class, I don't know what, and she pointed out to the local school boards that this could be a violation of separation of church and state. In other words, she wasn't even actually a member of the school, nor was she actually complaining. And eventually this made public light, but that didn't take away what happened. In South Haven, that's in Mississippi, just south of Memphis, a courthouse had several benches in their jury room where the trials were held that had crosses on them because they'd been purchased from a local nearby church that had closed. And somebody filed saying that was a violation of the separation of church and state. Santa Rosa, Florida, Santa Rosa County, Florida. Now, as I understand, this battle began because Baptists and Catholics were basically bringing their notion of how the Bible should be interpreted to each other, and it escalated. But regardless of the causes, Santa Rosa, Florida has become quite arguably the worst place in this nation in terms of oppression of Christians in our schools. Back last December, a teacher lost her, I believe, 2-year-old child. She died. And a co-worker of this teacher wanted to console her. And there was already some oppression going on at the time. A lot of rules had been made, and they were aware of this. So they went and they hid in a closet, and they prayed together about the loss of this child. Well, somehow or another, somebody got a hold of it. As I said, it was already a heated situation. And these teachers were fired for going and hiding in a closet and praying. That's, as far as I'm concerned, just despicable and inexcusable. And unfortunately, the ACLU also won a court case against these teachers. The impression I get is part of the problem was they didn't turn and fight, but I don't know enough about the situation. This is just an impression I get. But that's an important note that the lawyer can't do everything for you if you go to trial on one of these cases. At some point, you have to fight yourself. Now, there's been several interesting developments out of Santa Rosa. I can keep on going. At one point, a judge said that a teacher cannot even fold his hands in prayer to say a blessing at lunch. So you can't even, even if you're blessing silently, you can't even fold your hands in prayer. Oh, during the case, one thing that came out, too, I almost forgot about this, is if a teacher received an email that had the words, God bless you in it, then the teacher was not allowed to reply to the email because it would have a violation of separation of church and state in it. It just got very ridiculous now. One of the things that fortunately has happened out of this is the Florida legislature has passed a law saying that if a school agrees to any terms which could, any legal terms that could violate one's First Amendment protections of any kind, even freedom of speech and such, that it must have the consent of everybody that it would be agreeing on behalf of. That's teachers and students. So I think that Santa Rosa County has basically brought this stuff to a halt in Florida now. We'll see. A couple other cases. San Diego, California. They had a case where local Bible study inside the homes was prohibited. It was considered to be a violation of major use permits, and this home, the owner of the home was going to have to pay $10,000 in order to have his home rezoned and recertified for major use as a church. Now, I understand that part of the problem is that there were a lot of people showing up for this Bible study, and they were packing and crowding the streets with parked cars, and it was a traffic problem. However, where this does become an issue is that they were specifically asked if they were praying, if they were holding Bible studies, and things of that nature by the authorities, and that shouldn't have even come up. Gilbert, Arizona had a similar situation to San Diego. Now, one of the interesting things that happened there is there was an incredible public backlash in Gilbert, Arizona, and the law was very quickly changed within a matter of weeks to permit the Bible study in the home. One of the more famous cases is Mojave National Preserve, Veterans of Foreign Wars Cross. Basically this is a national monument that is a cross to honor those that died in World War I. Now in Tennessee, we've got Cheatham County. Cheatham County was sued by the ACLU for allowing a prayer during graduation ceremony. I'm happy to say that I've got some footage that during the next year, the valedictorian in Cheatham County was prohibited from reciting the Bible as part of her graduation ceremony. So they were just not going to simply allow a speech if she didn't change the speech to take it out. So she took it out, reapproved the speech by the school board. She was allowed to speak, and then she gets up there and point blank tells people that she's going to go back to her original speech, and she cited the Bible anyway. And there were no charges filed against this girl. In fact, she received a standing ovation from the crowd that was there. So this is one case where somebody basically refused to be silenced and was well supported by the community, and nothing bad happened to her. So that's an encouragement. Remember that. Wilson County, Tennessee, that's just on the other side of Nashville, east side of Nashville. They were sued because the Gideons were handing out Bibles in school. This is where the peer pressure comment comes from. Maryville, the city, after receiving a complaint, took the Bible reading out of a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And of course, the Bible is the origin of the Christmas holiday to begin with. Even if it's not explicitly stated in the Bible, in spirit, we know that Christmas means Christ Mass. So it's got very biblical origins. Clarksville, the city was paying for animals at a nativity and was sued over that. The Sevier County Commission, they have been not actually sued, but a group called Americans United for the Separation of Church and State has threatened to sue them if they don't take the Lord's Prayer out of the opening of their county commission meetings. But what can we learn from this? Sometimes there's also clever answers to these cases, even if we lose the lawsuits. In Fort Oglethorpe's case, they have said that the fans will carry signs into the crowd. So they removed one side from the field, and they're going to replace it with dozens, if not hundreds, of signs in the stands. Obviously, that kind of defeats the goal of the, school board in that situation. And they can't control the fans, sometimes even if they want to. Citizens can get a protest permit to read from the Bible in public. You can also do it without getting a protest permit as well, but if you want to take that route, that is possible as well. Mojave National Park. The lower court had ordered the people that kept up the monument to cover the cross with a box. They complied with the court order. They fashioned a box that was slightly larger than the cross and in the same shape of the cross and covered it with that. So I thought that was a very clever solution to it. And with that, I'll conclude. Just remember, half of this is just simply fight the battle to begin with. One of the problems I believe that we have in this country is a lot of the Christians just simply accept what the non-Christians are doing. If you read the Bible, you will find that those that are not saved are doing precisely what the Bible says they would be doing. The problem is those that are saved. Unfortunately, many of us are behaving like those that are unsaved, and I can't necessarily exclude myself from that. We are all sinners. But at some point, we just have to stand up and fight, and do so, be as respectful of others as possible. And that's the end. Y'all have a good day.